So let's kick it off with the McGregor Mayweather thing because Chris did a great thing. He did a head count. Sid?
Connor.
Is that a head count or a heart count?
It's a hard count. It's a hard count.
Mayweather's gonna win. My money's on McGregor.
Because you think the odds are just so
The
high
odds are too good.
Okay.
Chambandin.
I'm McGregor because for the reason I just want to shut. You know what? I used to want to just shut up what's his name? Mayweather. I wanted to just shut him up, but he's been a ridiculously nice in this press con, and he's annoyingly normal.
He's actually the good guy now.
He's actually the good guy now.
Right.
But
good
so normally I would go for whoever he was against just to shut Mayweather up, but this time he's not so obnoxious. But my goal now, my motivation now is to shut those people up that says he has zero chance.
Right.
I want to hear what these people say that just give him zero chance. I want to see their faces when even a knockdown. That's all.
Yeah.
That's not my motivation. I know I'm dreaming, but
So you know it's not possible.
no. I put 5% chance on Connor, but the nice thing is the greatest moments in history usually come from the 1 to 5%.
Right.
If you have a 50-50
Yes.
chance, is that a milestone in history?
No.
You go, well, no, I really did. I mean, no.
Buster Douglas.
When Brandon Vera took on the heavyweight champion of the world, it was just expected, right? It was expected.
Yes.
But if he came from nowhere, whatever, that's
Right.
great. Well, he did. But I'm just saying, this is Buster Douglas is the best example.
Actually, here's what I want to know. Is it true that boxers, I've heard, hit harder than MMA fighters?
Good question.
100% absolutely correct.
Why?
It is true.
Because you have to understand, their mechanics, everything they've been doing is just the upper body movement, upper body torsion, ab control, footwork placement, just to connect with punches.
Right.
They only concentrate on 2 points on their hand. First and second knuckle left, first and second knuckle right, on every punch. As an MMA fighter, you have to concentrate on a plethora of things, like from takedowns to defense to standing up to clinch, everything else. So we haven't been able to just concentrate on one specific thing. And I think Bruce Lee said it the best. I'm not worried about the guy who's practiced 10,000 things. I'm worried about the guy who practiced one kick 10,000 times.
Right.
That's the best way to...
Can I send him money? How do I send?
Right. But then that means then that do you believe that Mayweather hits harder than McGregor?
That's another question.
Yes.
You asked if a boxer hits harder than MMA, but does Mayweather hit harder than
Right.
McGregor?
When was the last time Mayweather was able to knock out
Ortiz.
someone? When was that?
That was the fluke.
Years ago.
No, it was like
no, it was 2011.
somewhere around there,
11?
11 or 12.
It's
Yeah.
been
And
Wow.
it was a sucker punch. I think it was
It was a sucker
It was
punch.
legal. It was
After
legal.
hug.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, call it what you like. It was legal, but yes, he was not ready. So,
Right.
what do you think, Sid?
Uh-oh, Sid.
I think
Malalim
I think Mayweather can punch harder. I don't know because based on the videos that I've seen, based on the let's say the Mosley interview.
The one I
you saw
sent
that
this morning.
You sent
I
that,
sent
right?
it. Yes.
In the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
That was very interesting. That new insight. I mean, Mosley was really, but I mean that's a biased opinion coming from a boxer. But I do believe that he is telling the truth. I mean, coming from boxing, it's really what you said. I mean, it's a concentrated form of sport where you're using two hands and that's about it, and you're practicing just your knuckles. And I think that's I think he will be using it to his advantage.
You know,
Right.
and it's easy to debate about it, but real life experience, I only have to wear headgear when a pro boxer comes in.
Really?
Oh.
Whenever Alex Gustafsson, thanks you bastard, and help me. What's
Rafael Butler,
Rafael Butler,
heavyweight.
and the very first time I ever went to a smaller gym in Virginia Beach were some boxers who weren't very good, aren't very known, but all they did was box since they were 3. That's the only time that me and my partner Sean Yarborough drove home for an hour and was so quiet because our head hurt so bad from training with boxers. So real world experience, boxers punch 10 times harder than MMA fighters.
So where does Connor have an advantage here?
Yeah.
I mean, like, if he can't use his legs and his elbows and other tools, does he realistically have an advantage? Or am I just being a complete nut hugger?
For me, I'm not sure.
Seriously, I mean, I'm proud. I'm a proud nut hugger. Whatever
I
that's
actually
worth.
think Connor's advantage is his size. I don't know how much of an advantage, but he is so much bigger
He is.
than Mayweather. He is. I think he said he was going to come in at about 170. And I think that's going to play into it, especially if he decides to rough him up. I think that's McGregor's only chances to go in there and rough up Mayweather and hope to land something in there.
I have a question. As a newbie, right? I'm like completely not the MMA. I know my physique doesn't betrays that statement.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Skinny arms. And all that. But here's Conor kept saying to Mayweather in the press conference, I break guards. Is that even realistic? Is that possible? Because I would think as somebody who doesn't know much, I've never had a fight in my life. Can you? I mean, can you punch through a guard?
Not those big boxing gloves on.
Yeah.
8
that's
ounce
gonna be
now.
tough.
It's 8 ounce.
Yeah.
They're still boxing gloves. They're not going to slip through.
Yeah.
He's
And-
not fast enough.
What about an awkward uppercut?
That's
Would
what
that
I'm
like?
thinking. Yeah.
Oh, this is coming from another guy who belongs to ZMT.
Yeah.
Zero mat time.
Zero mat time.
We've had no mat experience
Yes.
ever.
Yes.
I honestly think that Conor's biggest advantage is his awkwardness. Like you're
Right.
saying, his weird punches, his weird stance. His timing is not of that as a boxer's. It's not. He
Yes,
won't have
that's
the
it.
same movement. He won't have the same timing. So I think that's his biggest advantage. And how you were saying earlier about him roughing up Mayweather,
Right.
for sure that's his only chance.
Right.
Use brute force and land something.
Right.
have
And if he
another-
lands, hopefully he'll be able to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
But will he?
I have a stupid question. You know how the shoulder roll, the famous shoulder
Right.
thing of can you punch the shoulder into submission? Can you can you just get him like, oh God, that just
No.
no?
No, sir.
Why? Is it his physique? Is it training? What?
Throughout the years, just people talking about it. No, I've never heard anybody say that he punched my arm so hard that they hurt. I've
Yeah.
only heard people saying that he's kicked my arms to where I couldn't use them anymore.
Right.
And that's bone versus muscle. Straight bone versus muscle. There's no way with gloves on or even that you would punch somebody's shoulder to death. I just
Right.
don't see it. And that dude's so slippery every time he punches. It's not
It
solid.
actually rolls up.
Yeah, he moves
Yeah.
it. He moves your hand off of him somehow, man.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Mayweather fan. For me, just for the
You
record,
sound like a Mayweather fan, by the way.
I hope. So I've said this on a forum. I hope Mayweather is whipping Conor's ass. Conor gets frustrated and head kicks Mayweather and calls it. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
So, Lawyer, let me clarify. Are you you want Mayweather to win?
No.
He
You
just
want
said he
McGregor
really
to win?
doesn't like Conor, which
No,
is fine.
I am a fan. I'm a fan of Conor.
Really?
I am a fan of Conor. I respect that. In 2013, he was collecting a welfare check for $235.
Now he's gonna make.
2017, he's collecting a check that evening for $100 million, win or lose.
Right.
I am a Conor fan, but as a realist who fights in the game, I just don't. In a boxing match, I just don't see it. But I'm hoping he gets frustrated and kicks him and knocks Mayweather. Because I'm with you. I want Mayweather to be shut up too, and I hope that happens.
Oh, we can't.
Well, there's a question on the screen.
Uh-huh.
Brandon, if you were Conor, how will you defeat Mayweather?
Head kick.
Head kick.
If I was Conor, I would fight him just like the Australian kid fought Manny Pacquiao. Headbutts, elbows,
Right.
roughing him up
Every
on the
dirty
inside.
trick.
Just push the pace and push the limit until the referee calls me or doesn't call me, and just keep doing the same thing over and over again. I wouldn't box him. I would fight him.
We can't
Right.
have this conversation without talking about Paulie Malignaggi. Is that a knockdown? Is that a slip or a push? Because
Well,
he used that tactic. He roughed Paulie Malignaggi.
I
up.
mean, when you see the video without the benefit of pausing the video, it looked like a knockdown, right? But then there was another review, right, of the video.
Yep.
Frame by frame,
Frame by
it
frame.
was a push.
But if
Yeah.
you have to dissect it like that, that means, because remember, Paulie Malignaggi is coming from a point that you can put weights on my ankles, you can put my hands behind my back, and he's still got no chance. So, you know what? If we have to split frame by frame, it's like, dude, come on. You said he wouldn't land a single punch, and you walked out of there by Cerrado.
Right.
He used the tactic that he roughed Paulie Malignaggi up,
Right.
which he successfully did. Even Paulie Malignaggi admitted that. The only thing that's maybe unfair there is that he said, look, I just got off a plane. But he said, yeah, you got off a plane, but you're also coming from a guy that says you can put the cameraman in there and he'd have a better chance.
Right. Well, what was that?
That was my echo.
We're replying to his
I
comment.
was punctuating my own point.
Replay it again.
So do you think that he can do what Brandon said, which is his only chance of really roughing him up?
Yeah.
You know, doesn't matter how fluently you speak a certain language, if you're speaking different dialects, which is what's happening here, anything can really happen. But I still say 5%. I'm being kind of generous.
Here's the thing that I noticed. A lot of the analysts are talking about McGregor's KO power, right? But if you think about it in an MMA match, how many people has he really KO'd with a one punch KO?
Aldo,
Right.
Timing, although, yeah.
Definitely.
That's it.
Poirier.
Who?
Was
Poirier?
it a
Poirier.
one punch
Yeah,
knockout
here.
unconscious?
Chad Mendes?
Yeah.
Was
Chad
Chad?
Mendes.
Would you consider
No,
Chad
a
that
bunch
when
of
he?
punches.
Yeah, right.
Bunch of
So,
punches.
because
He was
in
already kind of
boxing,
book- book-
you've
yeah.
seen when Mayweather's fought guys that can one punch KO people, right? And
Like
they
Manny
could
Pacquiao.
Manny
Yes.
Pacquiao.
Oh no! Wait, hang on.
Man, there's
Not-
Cotto,
maybe not at that.
Canelo, there's Shane Mosley, Oscar De La Hoya. There's a lot of people who hit a lot harder than Mayweather, and they couldn't put Mayweather out. They couldn't even touch Mayweather. Shane Mosley almost did, but that
Because-
was it.
Because they boxed him.
Right.
And then that's what I side with Brandon here. He's fighting him. He's not boxing him. It's a boxing match. Even I would say it's 0%. Forget it. It's not as big a fan as I am of Conor, but it's a fight, and in a fight, anything I think can happen.
And I'm a
Right.
true believer in math.
In math.
Math. The possibility of the next scenario becomes greater and greater as you approach it. So the next scenario being losing for Mayweather gets bigger and bigger as you approach it. Like it's like rolling the dice, for example.
Okay.
If you're rolling big,
yeah.
big,
Yeah,
big, big,
yeah.
then the possibility of that becoming small
Dropping
gets
out.
greater and greater to the
Right.
next turn.
Makes sense.
Because you're also protecting that zero. It becomes so valuable that you're just, I don't know, maybe Brandon can answer this too, because you are, when you're undefeated, once you've lost, right? They say once you've lost, parang it can make a better
Right.
fighter.
It does
right?
make a better fighter.
Yeah, because if you approach it well, like when I think he came back with Nate Diaz, I mean,
Right.
that's where I really respected. Actually, I was always a Conor fan because I fell into the hype of his, the whole
Conor.
flamboyance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all that. But where I think I really became a true Conor fan was after he lost to Nate Diaz, because that was so painful for him to have to. And right there in the locker room, no, he was a better man, but I knew where I went wrong. I knew where I just came up short. His strategy was the same. He said, I just came up short. So he didn't bank on the fact that anyone else should have fallen down. There's nobody else in the 155 division that would have stood up to those punches. I kind of believe that. But he approached it from a good way. He came back, and then he imposed that game plan with the adjustments that they needed, and he won the fight. So I like the way he lost, and I like the way he adjusted. Mayweather doesn't have that. He's protecting zero, and this zero has become so important to him that I don't know. It changes the way you take risks. It
He's
changes.
become
the way,
Golem.
Yeah.
Yeah. We cannot speak about boxing without boxing business. Comes down to business. We know how it's run. Mayweather stands to make about $500 million from this fight, $500 million from this fight,
Right.
500 million
With-
with PPVs.
with automatic rematch clause. If they can carry over and sell it again for number 2, you'd make $1 billion. Pride becomes a factor, but you have to ask yourself, especially because it's boxing again, would you take an L on your record
Yeah.
for a chance to make $1 billion?
rematch.
I think most fighters.
That's a good.
That's a very, very, very
insight.
good question.
That's
And I
a
was
good
kind of,
insight.
if I may ask a related question, because that thing where I don't think personally, if you ask my opinion on it, I don't think it's worth $500 million to Mayweather to get a zero, to trade his zero for that, because he's got more money than he cares that he can use, and that zero is more valuable than $500 million. Having said that, when you come in with that, losing is not an option. This is such a slogan you normally will see on a Nike shirt
Right.
or something. But in reality, I remember an interview with Nate Diaz that kind of threw in my head. He goes, I go in there absolutely expecting to lose and doing everything I can to not lose. So losing is not an option. That's a stupid thing to put, because losing is always an option. It's always there.
Right.
If you go in there and he said it in a lot better way than I did. But
Right, but Mayweather has always said that there's always a chance to lose. He's never said he always says it's a fight and anything can happen. He'll always say that. Although he's very protective of the 49-0, which is
yeah,
I know
become
it's
all
going to be
about that.
50-0. Actually, it's going to be 50-0, and the
No,
way
hey, wait, is it really 50-0? Does this count as a real
Yeah,
boxing?
yeah, it will,
record?
because it
Yes,
is
will be,
official.
yes.
Should it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Should
sure.
have went by somebody who's 0-0 in
Yeah,
boxing.
yeah.
And like
Yeah.
Mayweather is
Who's never
risking
ever
so
even
much.
done who's never even done what is it for boxing? I think when you start off boxing it's 3 rounders,
Right.
5 rounders, 6
6,
rounders,
8, 10, 12.
Come on, man. I promise you this, if it goes past 4 rounds, McGregor's arms will be worthless.
But you know-
They'll be worthless.
I'll tell you something. I think McGregor's chances would be better if he didn't bull rush Floyd. I don't know why I think that, because what he did with Nate Diaz, for example, what did he do with Nate Diaz? The first fight, he said, "I'm gonna finish this in 2 rounds. I'm gonna kick his ass." He went in there, and then what happened? He didn't realize Nate was taking all his punches, gassed out, got his ass kicked.
What was it? 180 though. What was
170,
Nate?
170.
No, it was a fight that was 170. What was Nate's actual weight in the ring?
I don't know.
170. But he was a huge man, right?
Well, he
30
fights at
pounds.
155 normally.
Yeah,
remember.
so 20. But he was. Connor's argument there is he's a freaking giant. He's 30 pounds heavier than I am.
Sure. But the fact is, he went in there with that mindset of trying to kill the guy, so he burned himself out.
did.
And by the second round, you could see he was
Gassed
just
out.
fading.
You.
Right. So I think that's what's going to happen with this one.
When
He
you got
thinks
that.
he can bully Mayweather, and then Mayweather, as usual, just cover up, defense, let him
Oh,
tire himself,
yeah.
watch his game, see how he moves, and then human calculator works out. Okay, he throws this many times, and then boom.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna play with McGregor.
James
Oh,
Stoney.
it's,
Kuya
Kuya
Kim!
Hello.
Kuya Kim, oh my God, is that even a real question?
That's
Taxi
it.
or Uber? Come on, man, it's Uber all the way.
Hey!
Come on, yeah,
Yes.
it's Uber. Sorry, love it. But hi, nice to see you here. Awesome stuff.
Wow, so he's like trying to change the topic here to taxi or Uber.
Yeah.
But that's a good one though. You have to.
James
Especially Mr.
Stoney,
Deacon's
other
on.
calling me. But okay, let's just quickly go back to Paulie Malignaggi, because everyone, you made a fantastic point when you said, I think by round 4 his arms are going to fall off. But Paulie said that Conor came back strong in 11 and 12.
Right.
And admitted that it was Paulie that was gassed out, blaming the plane trip, blaming the everything. But he said he was surprised that in 11 and 12, Conor came back. 1 to 5 was Conor, 11 and 12. Is that conditioning? Is that you think he's?
So, my thing with that situation, experience. I've never had a good fly-in day, travel day, straight to sparring or training or rolling.
Okay.
The champ, Michael Bisping, whooped my ass when I went to Big Bear and I showed up that day. Michael Bisping whooped my ass. This is back in the day.
No!
He was a little guy, but I was just so
Yeah.
spent. I couldn't move. He was beating me up on the ground. He
You
was
felt
feeling.
slow?
No, I felt like I
How
couldn't
many
move.
eyes did he have then?
Yeah, still 2.
Two.
Yeah. Oh no, 2. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause now, yeah. So you have 2. I mean, I bet you can take him with 1 eye now.
No, but the next day after we slept, we had to roll again. And this time I got my payback because I had a good night's rest. I slept really well, woke up the next day and beat his ass the next day. And I remember he was coming up to me the next day and Champ was asking, what happened? I
different
just
guy.
rested, bro. I just had to get some sleep in. So
Yeah.
that whole fly-in day thing, when he said that, like, I know it's an excuse and it sounds like an excuse, but man, if you haven't been training and then you just show up and you fly in and you're right to it,
Right.
But
it's definitely, there's no gas in the tank.
Brandon, I have a question. I mean, if you're sparring, it's a good barometer of what will happen in the fight. But of course, when you're in the fight, and I remember you telling me before, the pressure, you vomit before the fight when they call your name, Vera, you're up. I mean, the fear and the moment you step into that ring. I mean, those can.
that's what happens to me when I take a taxi.
So I mean that's something. These are the factors that I mean you have to consider winning a fight, right? I mean the pressure of actually going in that ring and the pressure of everyone watching. So how big a factor are those those things if you put that in the mix?
It's huge. It's really huge. Depending on who.
My leg.
Depends on, I don't know, how he uses it, how Mayweather uses it, how Conor uses it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm expecting Conor to be booed at a boxing event.
Okay.
That's what I expect, and it depends. Connor's the guy. If you boo him, he
Yeah.
loves
he
it.
loves
He
it.
loves. He eats it. So I think it'll help. I think that's going to be a factor, but not such a big factor because everybody's going to be playing their expected roles. I think.
His actual fuel is you can't do this. That's his whole brand.
Yeah.
Although if you think about it,
Can't be done.
who do you think is more mentally affected between the two? From all the
Mayweather.
trash talking?
Mayweather.
You think?
He's
Yeah.
smashed right
Really?
now.
You think?
Yeah.
It's either that or
I-
he's pure genius and he's going, look, if this is, I'm not gonna swim upstream here. He is better, and he's playing this 40-year-old. I don't know. There was even this thing where he's being helped up after. Yeah.
He supposedly got knocked out.
Yeah, to sell this fight because right
Boxing
now.
business.
Yes, and very good too.
No, but because I actually believe, and I'm not a Mayweather nut hugger, all right?
Mhm.
I just looked at it from all the press cons, from everything I've seen on their social media. I think McGregor is more effective
No.
than Mayweather. I don't know why.
I can't see that.
Really?
No, I can't.
I can't even see Mayweather getting phased. He looks like he's just chilling.
Because he's got no comeback. He's got nothing. That's
Yeah.
it's just he's like, look,
He's not motivated? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's just like parang if I'm going to go up against Brandon Vera in a cage, parang I just submit to myself. There's no point. He's just. But if he wanted to argue about Uber and Grab, We all have our
There's a phone-in question.
Mm.
What I think that was for you, Brandon. What was your most difficult opponent?
My most difficult opponent that I was scared to fight, which made me train harder, and was probably one of my best performances, was Mr. Shogun Hua.
Yeah.
Awesome
fight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even though I lost that
Legend.
fight, I enjoyed the shit
John
out of
Jones?
that fight.
Not John Jones. Mm-hmm.
For the record, all my coaches and my training partners know this. I didn't train for Jones.
Okay.
I just kind of hung out in Big Bear.
You didn't feel intimidated by Jones?
No, I didn't think it was any good. I thought it was just a flash in the pan. And then, honestly, when we were on the feet, watched the fight again, he can't hit me on the feet. I was just moving out of the way and I was smiling at him. And his eyes got so big, so he shot in and took me down. And I kicked him up off of me. He tried to hit me again and I just moved it out the way. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this is what all the hype was about? And he took me down. And I remember right before I said,
elbows.
you suck. In my brain, I was thinking, you suck. Right before I could finish, wham, the elbow smashed my face. And then in my brain, I grabbed my face like, that's what you get, you mother being so cocky. That's what you get for being so cocky, god damn it. So I just didn't respect Jones the first time we met.
Right.
I would love to do it again. 1 versus UFC. John Jones, I'm calling you out,
There
baby.
you go,
Yeah,
man.
We were here for
Can you still
history.
make 205 though?
He's going to catch weight 225. I can make 225 for your ass.
Oh yeah, that would be interesting.
But you need-
Jones and
You need the alley act. for this, right?
Unconventional movements
Yes.
from
What
Conor.
kind of question?
Almost there.
Question.
Almost there.
You run boxing gyms and
Right, yeah.
Can he do a Superman punch?
No, you can't.
Why
Not in a
not?
boxing match.
I thought they said
It's-
that was
it's allowed.
Is it?
Yeah, I thought
that's
they
the last-
clarified that.
Really?
Because it's a
yeah.
punch. It's still just a
it
strike
was
with a hand.
clarified. I just don't know if it's 100% like how far. But yes, they've talked about
But
the
you know-
only weapon that he's allowed to use
Really?
in MMA is the Superman
Superman
punch. My question was, what happens if Conor feigns a kick, doesn't connect the kick, feigns a kick, even gets his leg off the ground, but doesn't, and then Mayweather goes, what the hell, and bang!
Nobody said nothing about that yet.
Oh,
Nobody
that's
said anything about that.
that's
a good
so
one, man.
interesting.
I mean, he's
switched
human,
up.
right? You see a kick, oh, what the hell?
Right.
I was also thinking about another move.
That would be awesome.
A turning punch. You can't hit him at the back, no? So somebody goes like
A
this.
spinning punch?
He's a spinning punch like that.
Is that
Yeah, if it's a punch, you can't
Oh,
do a
it's a
spinning
punch,
back
but
fist.
spin punch.
In other words,
Why can't you do a spinning back fist if it's a hand?
If
Stupid
you can only
question, I
hit
know.
with,
you just can't.
why?
It's supposed to be. I don't know. It's supposed
This
to.
way? I don't know.
Yeah, there's certain.
There's
the way
an
you
actual
connect.
rule?
You can't do a back fist. You cannot. Like you can't go boom, boom. You can't. I think it's about what Brandon was saying about connecting. It's about connecting here. It's always here.
And that's
So you
what-
can't connect here. You can't do hammer fists. They'll actually, if you do rabbit punches, they'll actually pull you apart. And they might even penalize you for that. So
In a way, that's what he did to Paulie, remember? And Paulie
Yeah.
was
Yes.
not the
Rabbit
knock.
punches.
Was it not the knockdown? I think it was before the
No,
knockdown. when
before.
and it was on the
Yeah,
back.
like ding, ding,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
ding, 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 right?
Yeah.
So that, but Cortez was a real ref. He didn't seem to call it.
It's only
Right.
illegal if,
Right.
yeah, if the ref says something.
Right.
Because the ref could catch you,
But
but he doesn't
Cortez was
care.
paid to.
Right. And remember, Mayweather's one of the dirtiest fighters. Sorry, Mayweather's actually a
Really?
very dirty boxer. Watch all of his fights. How many times has he done a sucker punch?
That's the Ortiz.
Ortiz wasn't the only one. He's done it before. When they break them apart, as soon as they break them apart, it goes boom.
Oh,
And
sorry.
like, he does that. So and he does a lot of tricks, including headbutts, elbows. You know when they throw a hook in boxing, right? I don't know if you know this. They actually throw it with this. So if they miss with a punch, it connects in the elbow. And if the ref, like Brandon said, doesn't call it, it's legal.
Okay.
Do it again.
That's right. You're right, because Ortiz was saying that Mayweather was being dirty with him, which got him frustrated, which made him do the headbutt.
Right.
That's right. That was a recent interview.
But the thing is, the ref never saw Mayweather do it, so the ref called Ortiz on that, not Mayweather. So that's the reality of it. So
Okay, so many trolls in celeb. That's coming from Kuya Kim.
spotting them now. Oh, sorry.
Hashtag guilty.
Okay, who wants to
please.
spar with Brandon right now? I'll watch.
I need a contract. I need a contract first, or at least sign a waiver.
But you have to go somewhere.
Yeah, well, I gotta do a thing in SMX. They have a transport show, and
You know he's famous.
No, but it's it's just an event I have to go to. But this is just, I have to say right now, this is the most awesome ever. Do you even call it a podcast? What do
I
you?
don't know.
We don't
Yeah.
have a name. Maybe once we're.
Maybe we can ask the people.
Oh, let's ask them.
that's
Nice
perfect.
name for the
Crowdsource.
That's I haven't really given it a lot of thought, but you know what? I always get the names from the people out there. Like I've named all my cars from my followers.
so you
they always,
crowdsource.
So my van's called Max. Somebody gave them that.
I love your van, by
Because
the
that's-
way.
It's like Victoria Court on wheels.
Kuya Axe. But have you used it?
You know, okay, let me tell you this.
Uh-oh.
I just got it, so it's just brand spanking new. It still smells. About Sid
Yes,
right?
yes,
You can still
yes.
smell the glue and all the
Right.
stuff. And then Alex, my son, who's 18 now, who is going to some kind of like a prom. I don't know if
He's going
it's
to embarrass his son again.
Now, Alex is one of these. He's lucky in this way that because of my position in the industry, he can get nice cars for like a prom. So the last few proms, he's had Jaguar, Maserati,
Right.
etc.
Wow.
I mean, it's just they say, okay, borrow it for a couple of days, whatever. I write a little review just to make everyone happy, and it all works out. So when he said he has a date, prom, whatever, this and that, I said, so you want me to ask Jaguar, Maserati? He said, no, I want the van. Because there's a 6-foot bed in there, and I said, if that bed gets you, I swear I will. Only Dad gets to use that bed that way. But yeah, so I'm gonna put a Wi-Fi camera in there just to make sure.
Okay.
Just to make sure.
I love the van.
And the
It's
infrared
awesome.
lamps. You know,
Infrared lamps,
It
yeah.
has,
Yeah.
right? You have the pipe lighting too, right?
Yeah.
Because I copied Tito Brandon. He was Manila proof before I was.
Maraming salamat, Atoy.
It's
And
Atoy's
James.
birthday. It's Atoy's
Oh,
birthday.
happy birthday, Atoy! Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Oh, ito pa. Dito pa.
Happy birthday.
You know, Ato is not just, this is a special shout out from my heart, because Ato is not just one of our he's one of the great minds in the industry. He created this brand, but for me, it's more than just that. He's a great human being. He's such a kind, inspiring, gentle, God-fearing, spiritual. You know, he's just, when you meet people like that, you really want to support them. You really want to be happy for their success. And Atoy, we are so proud of you. It's not just because you did an amazing job with Tito Brandon's van, my van, but because of who you are, what you are as a person. Happy birthday, bro.
All right.
Congratulations on the new shop. Congratulations on the
He
new
had
shop.
to expand.
Yeah, that's
After
what-
Tito Brandon's van,
What?
the inquiries just kept flying in because he had to now
So
build
many
a
vans.
double.
Oh.
And he's keeping his current workshop. He has to build another one because
It's
let's face
crazy.
it, this is how we get around Manila nowadays.
Right, yeah.
You know, you can't. The reason we came up with the idea of Manila Proof was it was actually because of Tito Brandon.
No.
And it was it was
It was
an
Kuya
accident.
James, thank you.
No, but it was an accident. I didn't actually think of it until we were talking. I didn't have this in mind when we first met. We were talking about your van, and I was just so starstruck, and I didn't know how to make conversation without sounding like an awkward fan. So I was like, "What do you drive, man?"
And you sounded awkward.
Yeah, and Alex is like kicking me on the table. Dad, don't make a fool of yourself. No. And so he said a high ace, etc. And then I remember asking him, he goes, no, but the only thing I can't take here, the traffic, but I don't know how to do the traffic, whatever. And then it just came out. I said, that's because you're not Manila proofed. That's
Yep.
how it came out. I
Ah.
swear that word never,
But that's a really nice.
It's now
nice name.
all over Atoy's store, Manila proof,
Manila
Manila proof, Manila proof.
No
And so I said,
way.
because if you go into a cold country, You would not go in there without, a jacket.
Right.
Your home would have central heating, and that's how you gear up to that weather. It's like, so when people say, how do you live in Manila? Well, it's the same thing. You have to Manila-proof yourself, just like you would not walk out into a cold country without your parka or whatever. And so you have to work with the environment. You can't go swim upstream and go, I want to solve traffic. We do want to solve traffic, but right now, this is the best solution, right?
Best solution right now.
Do you still use it every day?
Every day.
That's your
The
daily?
That's my daily driver unless we pull out the LC.
Yeah, you got a beautiful LC. Is that running well?
Atoy, yeah.
Yeah, you fix that.
Atoy, his brother Kuya Tonton did it. Yeah.
Ton.
It's
He's fixing
beautiful.
my Trailblazer. Remember you borrowed my Trailblazer?
Yes, ang ganda. Thank you.
I left the Trailblazer. I picked up the van. I left the Trailblazer.
Swap out, yeah.
And now he's going to verify it.
Good
Because-
day, good day.
That's another hashtag verify because I want to be like Tito Brandon. We all want to be how to be you po. He's over here.
Hindi
How to
naman.
be you po.
Hindi naman.
No, it's what, Brandon. It's just been amazing since when he first joined our little group. We had a little
I'm so glad you're.
Thank you.
Remember
Thank you.
that?
Thank you.
When Tito Sid, and you'll get used to this whole Tito thing. I remember when I first got invited to that group, and I was like, I get added to a lot of groups. I guess sometimes you don't even get a choice, right? And people start a group, and I mean not for anything. I just there's a lot of time keeping up with social media, keeping up with emails and whatever. So I don't really get a chance to interact. But this group has been something special. I'm gonna get a little mushy here, so bear with me. But it's been something special because. It supposedly, and it's true, we all come with the love of MMA. We all come together with the love of MMA, and some of us with some ZMT like us,
ZMT.
and some with heavyweight champ of the world. So you got this whole vastness. But what is amazing is everyone does something in their specific field that's absolutely, they're the best at it. Everyone is the best at their particular craft.
In the group.
And they're generous with that. So the amount of when you get to be able to help each other and then all that. That's what community should really be about. But I'll never forget when Tito Sid invited Brandon to the group and he was like, guys, Brandon's coming to the group. Everyone best behave.
It was like, oy, may bisita.
May bisita. Ladies back.
Get your underwear out of the...
Don't talk about this, don't talk about that, don't say this.
Now
he's the
I'm
noisiest.
scared to open pictures.
Because of Luis.
But he's the
Because
noisiest
of
one.
Luis.
And honestly, we thought Brandon was just gonna be like, okay, he's gonna come and he's gonna humor us and go, hi boys, and all that.
And after that,
and then he's just gonna
silent.
Now he's like the noisiest one there, like. But it's awesome. I gotta say, guys.
Maraming salamat, guys.
And this is, I think, in a way, what we would like to share in a way with everybody. This is, I think, if I'm correct, the
Yes.
essence of this.
Right.
Is we're broadcasting what that group is to everybody through a new platform, which is this, which is like, a lack of a better term right now, we'll just use the word podcast, but to share that knowledge and share that passion with everybody.
Right.
I like to throw my name for the group, Kalokohan.
Kalokohan.
Speaking of names, there boys lunch out.
Boys lunch out.
Boys lunch
Boys
out. Boys lunch
When
out.
you say kalokohan, if you like the word kalokohan, send me bananas.
There.
Send me hearts.
I haven't received bananas or hearts.
Ask for them. Ask for
Zero
them.
bananas.
Okay, so
How many seconds do you think
Vanessa
Johnny
is asking.
Oh my God!
Brandon, how many
Kuya
seconds?
Kim.
How many seconds do you think?
I
Jason
wouldn't make
lasted
the
you
introduction.
in
Let me put it that way. I would pass out in the introduction. In the red corner!
Oh shit!
I would pull a Mayweather. I would let Kuya James punch himself out. And this been my default.
But if an untrained fighter gets into a how deadly is that? Is that like to be fatal, right?
For in a street fight or in a MMA
Yeah,
fight?
let's say a street fight.
You know, I am not a fan of.
It's horror. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of violence outside of a professional setting. I'm kind of a walking oxymoron because I do believe violence.
You
More
make a
violence
living
is.
from it.
I make a living from it, and I do believe there's more violence needed in the world. We've gotten to a world where there's too much PC, and I really firmly believe if dueling was brought back, a lot of things would change in the world, because you'd have to be accountable for what you say. So I respect violence. But when I watch people on their phones recording violence, and I see people getting knocked out in the street and banging their head on concrete, and people getting curb stomped, I'm really not a fan of that. I wish there was a better way, and I wish that if you decided to partake in something like that, that there would be a lot stricter consequences. But that being said, I've people here in the Philippines box on the street and on concrete, and then one of the saddest videos I received was a direct video from somebody who lost their uncle, who was boxing in the street, just having fun. Everybody's around, everybody's having a good time. It's like merienda and tambay, and everybody's just cruising, and then he got hit, fell down, hit his head on the back of the concrete, and he died.
I saw that video.
You know, so I'm not a fan of violence outside.
Can I ask you a deep, medyo malalim na question?
Oh,
Tagalog
snaps.
ito, no, but you bring up a really good point about the dueling thing, right? I never even thought of it that way, but yes, you know, back in the day, people were accountable for their actions. But how do you balance that with people who are just obviously not gifted in I could never compete with you in any kind of physical sport, but then if I have something really just, how would you balance it out? How would you?
You know, I would say, okay,
Be
granted,
accountable is totally legit. I get that.
there are assholes in this world, especially at my level, who are trained to do this kind of thing. But I would say 98% of the people who do what I do respect violence and wouldn't use it, or wouldn't be just running around challenging people to a duel. I think that by installing dueling again, it would force the public, everyone, to up their game in self-defense and in becoming more physically fit and being aware of their actions and being aware of their words. And that's where the balance would have to become, because it would be, oh, well, he's more gifted, he's bigger, he's stronger.
Yeah.
You know, we would have to find a balance, but I think to balance it out, man, group them. One, like if it's somebody like me, you and 8 of your friends.
Because yeah, if
You
you're
know,
like,
so I would have to find some kind of balance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
you're
say
like
about you and 20. 20.
But there's a solution. There would be a solution. I bet you we come up with the solution faster than the LT FRB came up with the whole mess y'all are doing.
that's messed up.
Give us the damn plates.
That's messy. Yeah, exactly. Can we focus on real problems, please? You know? I mean, it's the one thing, the actual only thing that works under the agency, and that's the one they want to destroy. That really doesn't make sense. But I like that fact. But you know, it's in a way I can relate to it in cars. It's like, and Sid can also relate to this in cars. It's like we love our cars, but then we go to the racetrack, and that's where we duel it out. You know, if you want to be top. But once we get on the road, we ain't racing no Lolas and their IASs and whatever. That proves nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. Just like if you went out and kicked somebody's ass in Starbucks, you know, it's like, whoop. I mean,
Why?
Yeah, why? I mean, like, what have you proved?
Right, it's like Mayweather fighting with McGregor. What does
Oh,
it prove?
come on!
It doesn't prove anything.
That was a
Why?
no.
Why? Oh, money!
Yeah, you like that. So
How do I take his heart?
Yeah.
Sometimes this guy a banana.
Take his banana.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to ruin it for all the huggers. But there's only one person here that actually I'm the only one that wants Mayweather to win it.
Do you give McGregor any chance? So we're gonna go back to that.
I will give McGregor like less than 5% chance.
Okay, so that's more.
That's it.
I respect that.
That's it. But I'm almost 100% positive. Just looking at it, I've been analyzing this for like weeks, and I just can't see it.
I just don't like the
I can't
ones
see it.
that like Max Kellerman, and there are many of them like that.
Right.
That for me is total disrespect. Is it? Am I being a?
What happened?
Kellerman is one of the best names in boxing, commentary, etc. Very highly respected guy, and he was just like zero, absolutely zero.
Yeah.
This zero. I mean, there's not even it's
Zero
it was
chance
so
of-
zero. I mean, zero. It's the
Zero.
stupidest thing in the world.
Right. Okay.
There's another guy on Sports Desk on CNN who was international. I can't remember if he was ESPN or where he came from, but he was also saying that it's absolutely you're an idiot if you buy this fight, and that's not cool, man. Like that's the one where Franco, one of our buddies, joined as well,
Yeah.
and we were like saying, don't insult us by saying you're an idiot for buying this fight,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, this is also entertainment.
Entertainment.
And unlike
Yeah.
WWE, I know the build-up's very WWE, but it's still sport at the end, because unlike WWE, the script ends before you step into that
Yeah.
ring.
Yep.
WWE continues all the way. But
Right.
here, and just like UFC and One and everything, you can be all the theatrics that you want in One FC. You can do everything you want out of the ring, but when they close that door of that cage,
It's
you tell
business.
me that it's
Good luck.
You're
It's
on
just
your
you.
own. No scripts there.
No more.
Would you guys be disappointed if the fight turned out to be not the way it was built up and it became so lopsided?
Yes.
Would you be
I'd
yeah?
be mad. Yeah. I'd be mad.
Would you feel like
I'd be mad at
ripped off?
myself. I'd be mad at myself because go, what else you were expecting?
Right.
No,
So
you cannot be mad that you got ripped off because what Mr. James just said. What we're expecting.
And also,
MMA fighter versus a boxing
can I
guy.
just squeeze this in? I personally am not, and I think a lot of people are not just buying, I always look there, I should look here.
Yeah.
I'm not just buying into the actual 12 rounds, they're buying into the 6 weeks or the whatever you call it. Look, I was entertained by the press cons. I'm entertained every night. I don't go to sleep without Googling the latest podcast.
video, right.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see what Conor said, what Mayweather said, what Brendan Schaub said, what Joe Rogan said, that's my nightly ritual before I go to sleep. It's that and what Trump said, because Trump is just so funny, dude. I don't know where the White House press conferences and Saturday Night Live begins. It's so the lines are so blurry. Sometimes I'm going, wow, Alec Baldwin really does an awesome. No shit, that's really Trump. Yeah, it's like I really thought it was a satire. No, it's real. What kind of a world are we living in?
Well,
somebody, Kuya Kim just said, Geisler and
Kopepi.
Matos.
Oh, guys, hey, come on, that was a great fight. No, it was
Did
a
you
great
fight?
event.
No, I thought it was.
The second bus.
I was
second
so-
match was the first. The first time.
They didn't have a second one.
No, they
The
didn't.
first one, but it was just. I thought it was.
It
It
was.
was boring. It was like, oh, come on.
Were you there live?
No, I just saw it on TV.
Okay.
And seriously, that's the reason why I like watching trained fighters fight. Because
Kuya
when you
Kim,
watch
I won't watch that stuff, Kuya Kim.
right,
What-
you
what?
didn't watch it, obviously.
Kopepi?
You didn't care to, right?
No.
Right.
It's not. I think it was totally not designed for people like you, especially like people like you, because yes, it was a farce. It was completely a joke and all that. But I remember I was there, cage ringside, and Alex was there too, my son, and he said, "This is just the most amazing experience because it felt like Fight Club. There was something so raw about it." But yes, I can totally appreciate it. As an MMA practitioner, it was a farce.
Yeah.
But as a backyard schoolyard brawl in the canteen, but held now with tickets and all that, it was like, wow. Yeah.
No, but at the same time, I find when the fighters are too good, both are too
Yeah.
good, it becomes really boring. It's a chess
Yeah.
match,
Yeah.
right? Like
Pacquiao and Mayweather.
Woodley and Thompson.
No,
No.
Woodley and everyone else.
I have to say it. I love you, GSP, and everybody he fights.
Yeah.
GSP.
GSP got
But
boring
this thing-
though towards the end.
Because
Would you have to? He was so technical.
You gotta collect the checks, hold them down, beat them
Right,
up. Bing, bing,
right,
bing,
right,
stand
right.
up,
What if he
jab,
comes
jab,
in with
jab.
that big
Right.
stomach that he had the other day?
Nah. Yeah, I don't think he will.
But he's confirmed, right? He's fighting Bisping.
Okay,
Man, Baholo was confirmed before and then they pulled it, so I don't know what the hell's going on with that.
I actually
circus.
think Bisping was going to win that one.
When they fight again?
Of course.
No, Bisping and GSP.
Yeah,
I think
Bisping.
Bisping.
I think because Bisbee,
Bisping, yeah.
he's hungry and he has that fire right now, even with one eye. he's it's his time right now. He's on it. Right
He's
now.
got singular focus.
I didn't say that, champ. I didn't say that. I didn't say that, champ.
He's the one-eyed snake.
Oh, wait, that's the Allen group.
I think Bisping Rockhold was a very John Jones and what you said. He Rockhold on Rockhold's side.
Didn't
Right.
respect him. Yeah.
He didn't respect him.
Probably didn't train for him like he should have. Yeah.
That man, oh man, that was.
Bisbee took it. It just took all. Yeah.
And in that press, it hurt more than the punch was the press con after. When
Oh, I didn't-
yeah.
Oh
I didn't
man,
see
the
it.
Rockhold was so
sitting
like
there,
pissed
and then
upset.
Bisping came in with his beer, and he was
Smiling
just
and-
being Bisping. And
Bisbee
he was just being
on top of
Bisping.
the world.
Oh, I know, and he was
Kill
like,
him, champ.
and Rockhold was just like, how painful it is to lose, but to lose to that.
That guy.
Oh my god.
And he didn't, he didn't hold back. He was like, because there's so much history between those
Yeah.
two.
But I think Bisping against everyone else in the middleweight division. Sorry, I'm not hating on Bisping. He loses against everyone else in the middleweight division.
You
Dan
think so?
Henderson.
I think so. Top 10, he'd probably lose to 7 or 8 of the top 10.
I don't know.
Or do you,
Because right now he's on a different level right now. So it's just that confidence, that arrogance
Right.
that he's carrying with him will carry him through a lot of fights right now.
you think if they had a rematch, Rockhold and Bisping?
Yeah,
Rockhold.
Rockhold.
Right,
yeah.
Rockhold's.
Yeah.
Because Rockhold is even more. He would be so focused.
Do you
for
think
that.
Rockhold will get that fight? Because there's so many in line right now.
No.
Yeah,
You got to think
GSP.
about the business end of them.
I don't
too.
think he
Yeah.
sells tickets.
There's GSP, there's
No,
Woodley.
no.
Is Woodley in the...
No, Woodley's
on 70, right?
Welterweight,
70.
yeah. So
Who's the one that's... everyone's eyeing, and Rockhold had his chance, and that's probably going to be the... So he might end up like the Aldo. He might now end up as the Aldo to this.
I
thing.
hope not though, because he's so promising. He just has
Who, Rocco?
Rocco has a
Yeah.
lot. He's a lot to give. He just needs to make it happen within
Few years.
3 fights, I think.
But
3
this
fights.
this is what
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
MMA and stuff what you do so amazing, because you know you can't just be physically gifted and you can't just be a great
No.
fighter. Your career.
You can't be just ridiculously be
No.
good looking, no?
This is why I never made it. See, I told you this is my handicap. It's poking problems.
Hashtag Poke Problems.
No, what you said there with it's true. It's like Conor. They're all hating on Conor. A lot of fighters hating on Conor because he doesn't deserve. No, he created his own winning environment.
Yeah.
He sold himself. I mean, we would do it in just about everything else. We do it in motorsport. You know, the Lewis Hamiltons of the world. For every Lewis Hamilton, there's a bunch of other really talented drivers, but they didn't play the game. It's a PR game. It's an advertising game. It's just the way it works. You know, you can't just come in there. Not everyone can be a Susan Boyle. I'm just saying. If you remember that.
Yeah.
Susan Boyle.
And you know what?
She got her break, but you
Right,
know what?
right.
Had she gone up the traditional ladder, let's face it,
Yeah, would have been more
beautiful
difficult,
voice. But
yeah.
you know, she's challenging centuries of society's
Right.
prejudice and all that.
And
So
she
you wouldn't
did
even
not
make
learn
it.
dance moves. Sayang.
Yeah. But this is why I love technology. It's the most democratic. It can democratize. It can release people from oppression because you can create this platform where it's blind to race, color, sex, religion, etc. Because YouTube's proved that. You know, Charisse or Jake or whatever they wouldn't have existed. Arnel Pineda,
Right.
Justin Bieber. I
Right.
mean, but
Yeah.
even in our own, because it breaks through those barriers. That's why I love it.
Well, we'd like to thank Raymond and Surpass, JV, and everyone here.
Yeah.
Maraming salamat.
Having us.
Maraming
Right.
salamat.
Celeb, of course. This is really awesome.
It's beyond awesome. Man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to say thanks to everyone for watching. It's going to be our first and not the last. We're going to have a lot more of these.
Yeah.
These I don't know if it's like Tito Talks or whatever you want to call it.
No, but you know what? Before
No,
we
don't
go,
come
before we
yet.
go, we got to
Don't have
compare
kids yet.
bananas.
Well, you still
No,
have
we're
one
not
more
comparing
year.
bananas.
We have to compare bananas. How many
Oh,
bananas
okay.
have you
I don't have
got?
a-
How do you know?
You got 10,900.
I have 0
That's
bananas
hearts.
and 0.
Oh, well, yeah, I've got 35,700.
I'm not even.
Show off.
I'm not.
Show off.
No.
I love you all. I love you all. You know what?
Hashtag Poke Problems.
I can't really. We can't say that much yet because there are some things. This is still a pilot program, etc.
Right.
But
Thank you, Kuya Kim.
I am
Yeah.
so totally excited
Thanks.
about this platform.
Erwan.
Everyone.
Erwin's
Salamat, guys.
Erwin's my man crush.
Erwin.
All right.
No, I just want to say that this platform is absolutely amazing, and we'll be able to talk a little bit more about it later. But this is something I really want to utilize so badly because I think it's just
Yes.
it's a game changer.
Game changer.
So just stay tuned for all the updates for this.
Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.
Mabuhay.
I can't wait to do this again.
Thank you so much.
See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Mabuhay.